Hello, my colleagues. It's Michael Kostroff. Today, I want to talk a little bit about taking care of yourself in a professional situation when rules are being violated. I'm glad to say it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Um, if you are in a situation and rules are being violated, you don't have to get heated up about it. It's really just a black and white situation. Um, because certain things have already been negotiated for you by the union if you're a union member. We're going to get to the non union situation in a moment. Um, so, uh, um, I'll give you a great example. And some of you don't know this rule, so I want to use it's a good thing to use as an example. If you're in an equity waiver or what we call a showcase play, um, they are not allowed to film the play. Period. Maybe you didn't know that. They're allowed to film 20 minutes for B-roll, for advertising or whatever. Again, don't trust me. Don't listen to me. Look up the rules. Ask your equity rep. But there is a mythology that says that if all the cast members sign off, they can film it for archival purposes. There is no such thing. And to quote the equity rep who told me this role, what are you, Lincoln Center? Where are your archives? There is no such rule. It's exactly like getting together and deciding whether or not to stop at a red light. The law is in place. So, so the line is, oh, I'm not allowed to. I'm sorry. It's against union rules. Oh, no, I'm not allowed to. I wish I could. I wish I could. My favorite phrase, I wish I could. Um, and if they say, oh, we do it all the time, a friend of mine suggested that we say, I'm always the one who gets caught. I don't know what it is. I'm always the one. I don't know why. Or I've already had a problem with this in the past, and they threatened to drop me as a union member or something. You don't have to refight that battle. It's already been established. Now, that said, you have to be sure about what those rules are. And if you're not sure, check. Call the union. They're happy to educate you about those rules. However, if you don't stand firm in them, they get weak. If you don't stand firm, it's an absolute no. You can't cross that line. Then what happens is people who are inclined to break rules will continue to do so, and we will be unprotected. Um, if uh, if you're in a note session and it's going past the time that they're allowed to keep you, it's appropriate to just say, "I just have one quick question. I noticed we're going into overtime. Is that okay with everybody? Is that? I'm not sure how to phrase that. It's because it's really, I guess it would be up to the theater to approve that. Educate yourself. Don't listen to me. I'm telling you, don't listen to me. Please don't listen to me. I'm just saying, be firm on the rules. Okay? Meaning, if they've gone into overtime and you're eligible for overtime payment, then put in for that payment. You have to. Otherwise, the rules get weakened. On a film set, you do not get to say, we're going into overtime. That's not for you to say. And um, what's great is they don't tend to abuse those rules. They tend to pay you the overtime without question. They tend to do that. Um, if you're in a situation where you feel unsafe, you let the person know. And if they're not willing to remedy it, you are within your rights to say, I just don't feel safe. Um, and you're allowed. If there's something wrong with your contract on a film or television set, um, the most gracious way to deal with that is to say, it's my agent. They're so literal and weird about things like this. Can you just call them and get it worked out? I don't know what the problem is. If your agent has said that is not what's in the contract, that's not right, don't sign that. Blame your agent. Say, they're such hard asses. I just want to go to work. Blame them. That's fine. They're used to taking the heat for that. But for God's sakes, stand up for yourself. It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to. We have to not. This is why we have unions. Now, my non-union friends, it's true that you don't have those protections, but it doesn't mean that you have to allow yourself to be taken advantage of in every situation. Now, true, you might risk losing a gig or whatever, but you should never allow yourself to be put in danger or in a sexually inappropriate situation, in a dangerous situation, or in a situation where you are worked so many hours that there's a real risk to health. And you have to gauge these things, because I also know actors who are prone to complain and prone to say, I don't feel safe, or, oh, you're working us too hard. Listen, you're going to have to get good at monitoring whether you're being a crybaby or whether you're taking care of yourself. And you have to figure that out, because we also don't like people who just complain because they like to complain, or are lazy and don't like to work. That's the puzzle, friends. I'm just being honest with you. That's the puzzle, because I've known actors like that as well. So you do have to gauge that. I like to give you the full spectrum, so I will tell you that there have been times that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to let it go. It's fine. And that goes against everything that I've said in this video. But I want you to have the reality. There are times that I've gone, you know what, I don't think they're trying to screw me over. You know what, it's fine. But one of the ways that we support our union and keep our unions strong is by not renegotiating what's already been negotiated. If you allow people to violate those rules by going along with violations of those rules, then that could easily become the norm, and then our unions don't have strength and we are not protected. So, get to know those rules and make them non-negotiable and stick to it. Stick to it. It's unfortunate, but in certain situations, I worked at a regional theater, and I found out I'm not allowed to do a TV commercial for that show. I hate that. I'd like to be able to do a commercial for that show without them having to pay me a SAG commercial wage. I think that's a really bad plan. But at least at the time, for me to do a commercial for that play, they'd have to pay me SAG wages. So I couldn't do it. And I'm telling you that other SAG members did the commercial, and it made me look kind of bad, but I'm going to follow the union rules. That's just, it's a better plan in the long term. So, what do you think about all this? Take it off your plate and just say, oh, we're not allowed to. As a union member, I'm not allowed to. And that's it. All right, friends. See you next week. Bye.